My name is John Lee, and today I'll be talking about good leadership communication with employees. Every day in our lives, we face a new challenge. The challenge that we have to overcome. And these challenges may be passing a test, finishing a project, or going to work. When overcoming these trials, we may run into conflict that may involve being stuck on a problem or having trouble dealing with coworkers. In my work experience, there have been multiple times when I've been accused of doing things that I didn't do. In some of my cases, my managers have resolved the problem by communicating with both sides. But in some other unfortunate cases, they have ignored the conflict and let it take its course. When leaders act upon a problem using good communication, it helps yield positive results. This is why good leadership communication with employees help resolve conflict within a workplace. With any good leadership communication, we must first know how to handle conflict. When a conflict arises, it can be handled in many ways. Some people could be explosive and not know how to manage their emotions, and others could be unassertive and put the whole problem aside. As a leader, you need to be well balanced with your emotions. Your employees and coworkers are looking up to you for direction. If you are composed, then everything can fall apart fast. If you're not composed, when a conflict first arises, you need to take an aggressive approach to find those who are involved, and by doing so, you can start to piece the puzzle together and get the full story. Maintaining clear communication with employees helps maintain a greater respect for management. To get to this point, management has to make them feel comfortable enough to approach them. Not only does there need to be a workplace relationship, but there also has to be a personal relationship. This will create trust and strengthen the bond. Personal relationship can span from asking how their day is going, or hanging out after work, or a day off. When employees feel a more sense of comfort, they can be easier to cooperate with. Keeping a clear line of communication is also having them understand the goals and motives of having open communication in a workplace, and will create a more comforting atmosphere where employees can freely contribute. With open communication, they will feel valued as well as perform to the best of their abilities. When goals are discussed and set, they can contribute ideas to help come up with a faster resolution. With more contribution, everyone will start working more as a team instead of working independently. As a team, they can come up with ideas together, and that will benefit the set goal. Now that we know how to have a clear line of communication with employees, we can start on how to resolve conflicts of both parties. Conflict among employees is unavoidable. According to Dr. Neil Thompson, conflict can be seen to arise from incompatibility of aims between individuals and or groups. Both sides of the conflict can have one goal, but they may have different ways of achieving that goal. The first step is to resolve this as a leader, is to invite both parties to meet. As a leader, you have to empathize with both parties to understand how they're feeling. Leaders have to evoke emotion so that they can conjure a sense of reassurance and respect. By having both parties meet, they can discuss the difference in opinion that they have, and then they can start to work on their problem. After calling both parties to meet and listening to what they have to say, you can now step in as a leader to direct what they need to do. First, you need to identify the points of their agreement. Then you need to identify where they disagree. A good way for both parties to come to a consensus is laying everything on the table. Asking about why they agree and disagree on things is a good way to start. By doing so, they can hear each other's opinions. And with these opinions, they can come up with resolutions that they can help arrange that they will both like for an answer. Some things can be minor, such as changing things that are done by each other, and some can be bigger, such as harassment. In the case of harassment, the leader would have to use the authority rule. And according to McGraw-Hill Communication Matters, authority rule is when the leader of a group makes the decision. After hearing both parties' problems, you can now communicate a way that they can both agree. When they have decided what they will do to resolve the problem, they can now start a plan for the future. What these plans may consist of is starting to work on the biggest conflict first, and then the small conflicts after that. Other things that they can do in this plan is set up meetings in the future to see how things are going. This can help improve and give better insight on what you can do to work out the future areas. With this plan, it helps better communication in workplace, as well as better relationships of coworkers. Finally, now that we have learned how to handle conflict when it first arises, know how to have a clear line of communication and plan for the future, you can now use these to resolve your own workplace problems. For conflicts to be resolved, actions that include good communication need to take place. Having negative communication will only make the conflict escalate. Having poor leadership communication will not solve anything either. That's why good leadership communication with employees help resolve conflict within the workplace. As George Bernard Shaw once said, the single biggest problem with communication is the illusion that it has taken place.